Where were you when you found out you were going to become a father?
I was in RMVR service. I was down in Portsmouth on board a ship for a fortnight. Royal Navy Volunteer Reserves. It was awful, really. I mean, I received a letter saying, and the phrase was, "We've got a child on the way." I mean, we're all sat around the mess table reading our mail, and all of a sudden I said, "I'm going to be a dad!" And there was a silence. I thought, well, come on. I'd much rather she waited until I got home so I could have done the whole yippee, hoo, ha, and all that. All I wanted to do was just hug her and just say, wow, magic, and all that sort of business. But whether or not she felt that way, I don't know. Carl wasn't a pretty child.
Right, thanks, Dad. Last one.
No, we used to go for a walk, and people would come up to us and say, "Oh, can we have a look at the baby?" And if he was awake, she'd have him covered up and say, "Don't wake him, he's asleep," because he was ugly. Did you ever see or read Dan Dare comics? Well, there was a character in that who was Dan Dare's enemy. He was called the Mekon. Carl had the head like the Mekon. When I first met Carl, that very first time, I wanted a reaction where I'm giving everybody cigars, but I didn't get it. I've only ever told one person about this, even Sandra doesn't know, because we agreed that Sandra would take care of the top end and I would take care of the bottom end. She would feed, I would dispose, and he always wakes up in the night time, better see what he wants. You nappy! You didn't have disposable nappies, we had terry-toweling nappies, wipes, and I hadn't put on one before I put the pin in, picked him up and it dropped off. I thought that's no good, so I put it on again, and previously I'd seen him and I wanted the reaction where I'm giving everybody cigars, but I had no reaction. I thought, oh, that's my son, but then when I picked him up that second time, we looked at each other, at one another. I've got to stop. And then there was no one around, just me and him and no one. The whole place lit up, it was a light, it was great. And now I just wanted it to go on, to go out in the street and shout, "This is my son!" And then there was no one there, just him and me and no one. The whole place lit up and I was a light. Oh, it was great. And now I just wanted it to go on. I just wanted to go out in the street and shout, "This is my son! This 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 is my son!